Yesterday was Veterans Day. However, we are celebrating Veterans Day today. If you remember, Mr. Soren asked you to bring pictures of your friends and family in their military uniforms. Here is an awesome special feature in honor of our military.
But before we show you this feature, staff, we want to inform you that today's show is going to be a little longer than normal in honor of our veterans. Thank you for understanding. Here it is.
Hi, this is Christian Henson with CHTA TV, and I am here with Colonel Ed Binder, a U.S. veteran for the United States Air Force. We're doing a special in honor of our veterans. So what service were you in?
I was in the U.S. Air Force, but first I started out in the U.S. Army Air Corps. And at that time, there wasn't any Air Force. There wasn't an Air Force until '47. So I've been in the Army and also in the Air Force, as it were.
How many years did you serve?
32 years. That's a long time. 32 years. Okay.
And what part of the world did you serve in?
Well, that's a loaded question. In 32 years, most guys in the military spend, like 3 years here and 3 years there. So I was in the Pacific during World War II. I started in Australia, and then we went up to the Philippines, and then from there I took an LST, a landing ship tank, from there to Okinawa, and en route the atomic bomb was dropped. So it was August of '45 when I was on my way to Okinawa, and the atomic bomb pretty much ended the war. Thank goodness. If it hadn't been for the atomic bomb, I might not be here. And a lot of people say, well, if we hadn't dropped the atomic bomb, we would have saved a lot of people. It's really the other way around. If we hadn't dropped the atomic bomb, we may have lost millions of our guys and probably millions of Japanese soldiers as well. So the atomic bomb really, in my mind, was quite a nice thing for me and for many, many thousands of other guys.
What was the general mood of the country at the time?
Well, at the time, if you're talking about when the war started, when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, the country was pretty gung-ho because our country was being attacked, and most of the young guys were ready to go and fight for their country and beat the Japanese, of course. And we did. And at the same time, a lot of our people, most of our troops were fighting in Europe because during that time, Hitler was also on the rise. So we were fighting a war on two fronts, and the veterans at that time, young guys at that time, were really hard at it. So the mood of the country was pretty much gung-ho, and let's get the job done.
What's your advice for the students at Challenger?
Well, Challenger students, the cheetahs, should all go to school as long as they can, get as much education as they can, graduate from high school, graduate from college, go on and get a PhD, and set the world on fire. I'd like to kind of end this with a poem, okay?
Okay.
This is a poem that was written by a Canadian guy. Was right after the end of World War I, which was called Armistice Day. And that was Armistice Day before there was a Veterans Day. And it was the 11th day, the 11th hour in November 1918. And the poem went like this. In Flanders field the poppies grow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the lark still bravely singing flies, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field. Okay?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having been here.